So, somewhat recently I made a video about the marketing campaign Schick did with Evangelion, and I mentioned at one point of the video that what makes Evangelion and merchandising so interesting is that Evangelion has been so popular for so long that pretty much any product you can think of, yeah, there's an official Evangelion version of it somewhere. And that may sound like a joke, but it's honestly more true than you may realize. And that's what I want to talk about today. I want to show you just how disturbingly much official Evangelion merchandise is out there. And how am I gonna do that? Well, meet Shinji. He's just an average guy, except that he owns every single piece of official Evangelion merchandise ever made, and he lives in a world that's just like ours, except for one little detail, and that's that all the official Evangelion campaigns that have ever happened are still happening. But anyways, we're gonna follow Shinji on an average day of his life, and we're just gonna see how livable his life is with nothing but Evangelion merchandise. We are going to find out if someone could live entirely off of official Evangelion merchandise. Spoiler alert, you can. Shinji wakes up in his Evangelion apartment to the sound of his Evangelion alarm clock. So he gets out from under his Evangelion blankets, puts on his Evangelion slippers, and heads on over to the bathroom. Here, he can wash his hair, brush his teeth, and of course shave with his Schick Eva razor. And not to worry, he's got plenty of towels for the whole process. But Shinji here wants to get some exercise in before a long day of work, so he puts on a new pair of Evangelion underwear, slips into a comfortable Evangelion t-shirt, yeah, that's a real and official shirt by the way, sweatpants, socks, and Evangelion New Balance shoes, grabs one of his myriad of Evangelion water bottles, and from here he has a couple of options. Maybe he can take a quick jog, maybe he can grab his Eva Vamoof bike and Eva helmet and go on a quick bike ride, or maybe he could grab some of his Eva Army dumbbells and do some weightlifting. Well, he eventually picks one of them, and now he's feeling ready for some breakfast. He grabs some Eva coffee and then grabs some of his Eva canned bread and, oh, hold on, quick pause, the canned bread. Y'all probably won't believe me if I don't explain this one. Yeah, so believe it or not, canned bread still exists in Japan. From what I've come to understand, it's not necessarily a totally common thing, but it's also not so rare that it's unheard of for popular anime to get their own official canned bread. For example, there's Clanad canned bread, Full Metal Alchemist, Macross, and, Evangelion. And hey, good thing too, cause now Shinji has something to put in his Evangelion X Hello Kitty toaster. And with that, once he's done eating, it's time to get ready for work. So, where should his job be? Tell you what, we'll give him an office job and a physical labor job, and we'll see how he fares. So, starting with the office job, well, today is Casual Friday, so an Evangelion polo shirt, Evangelion sweater vest, maybe an Evangelion tie, a nice pair of Evangelion jeans, his Radio Eva, Toy Eva shoes, and maybe his Evangelion Sony watch, just to give him a little bit of pizzazz. Oh, and of course, he can't forget his trusty Eva briefcase to keep his Eva office supplies, his Eva cell phone, Eva calculator, Eva USB, Eva energy drink, and Eva business card holder in. And with that, he's ready for anything. So how about the physical labor job then? Well, he's dressed considerably more casually this time. He's got an Eva t-shirt, Eva cargo pants, and these Evangelion high tops. As for the tools of the trade, he keeps them all in his Eva tool bag. He's got everything he could possibly need in there, courtesy of the AT Field Evangelion work campaign that gave us pretty much any tool you could ever possibly need, but now with Evangelion branding. So, yeah, in summary, he's got everything he could possibly need for this and more. He'll be fine. But regardless of which job he has, he's gonna have to find a way to get to work. So what's Shinji's commute looking like if he can't walk? Well, he's got two options. For starters, he can hop on the Evangelion bullet train, complete with Evangelion seats, of course, or he can hop in his Evangelion Evangelion electric car. Of course, he'll have to make a quick stop at one of these Evangelion electric car charger stations on the way, though. Oh, and by the way, in case you were wondering, yeah, his car is absolutely decked out in Evangelion merchandise, too. He's got an EVA license plate, seat cover, car curtain, car mat, car garbage can, GPS, radio antenna, you name it, he's got it. And speaking of things he's gonna need no matter what job he works, he's gonna need something for lunch. Luckily, he prepared his EVA bento the night before, and he's still got plenty of coffee, so he should be fine. Or maybe if he's feeling extra hungry, maybe he can stop by Loteria or Pizza Hut since they both ran official EVA campaigns at some point. So at this point, let's go ahead and fast forward a couple hours after lunch. Shinji is done with work for the day, and what a day to be done with work on, cause, like I said earlier, it's Friday. And for Shinji, Friday is date night, and he's got a hot date planned with his SO, who we'll call... let's go ahead and call him Kaoru, why not? But tonight's not any ordinary date night, no, tonight is the night that Shinji finally proposes to Kaoru. You know, he's got his Evangelion rings at the ready, so very at the ready, and he's got an extra special date planned for tonight, so he needs to hurry up and get ready, and while he does that, let me tell you about these rings for just a hot second. So, there's plenty of official Evangelion jewelry pieces out there, more than plenty, honestly, but these rings, let me tell you about these rings. So, these came out in early 2016. They're by a jewelry maker called The Kiss, and you'd buy them in pairs, you know, like one for you and then one for your SO, as demonstrated in the marketing material for these rings, which featured, oh, would you look at that, featuring Shinji and Kaoru.
I gotta talk to you about something gay.
And speaking of Shinji, would you look at that, I finished telling you about the rings just in time for Shinji to get ready. Look at him, he's wearing the Shinji outfit from the line of clothes that was released for the 4th anniversary of the EVA store, a little bit of EVA cologne, and he's good to go. So Kaoru arrives, dressed to impress, of course. You know, he is wearing nothing but official Evangelion clothes from head to toe. And first things first, it's time to get some dinner. Now, they have two options for this. The first one is that Shinji can make something for Kaoru at home with his plethora of Evangelion cooking utensils. You know, maybe he could even grab some EVA wine glasses and pour some of this $624 sparkling Evangelion wine. Or, if they're not feeling that, perhaps they could go out for dinner instead. After all, a new pop-up Evangelion bar/cafe just opened up. And of course, if they do decide to go there, Shinji will cover the whole meal with his Evangelion Visa card that he keeps in his Evangelion wallet. So, after grabbing dinner, it's time for the main event, and this is a big night for Shinji. You know, if there's ever a time to bring your A game to the dating game, it's when you're ready to go to the next level. So then, what is Shinji's strategy? How is this gentleman going to woo the target of his affection? Now, I will tell you, but I will also warn you that no amount of bracing yourself will ever make you ready for what I am about to say, and that is bowling. Evangelion bowling. Officially licensed Evangelion bowling. That is Shinji's strategy. In 2013, a bowling alley in Japan called Round 1 hosted an official campaign featuring Evangelion. So then, what does a Round 1 Evangelion campaign look like? Better yet, I will show you what a Round 1 Evangelion campaign looks like. Bam! These are what it looks like. Now you may be sitting there scoffing, thinking, bowling pins. Okay, that's funny, that's peculiar, but listen to me, I'm about to open your eyes because these are so much more than bowling pins. They are, oh, so much more, because these are actually giant bowling pin mascot outfit things. You know, you're supposed to wear these. What I'm saying is, one would go to Round 1 during this campaign, and one would wear these. These are, in fact, not official Evangelion bowling pins, because they are official Evangelion bowling pin shaped attire. Have you ever heard such a brilliant concept in your entire life, honestly? If dressing up as an Evangelion bowling pin with your SO isn't romantic, I don't know what is. How could Kaoru say no to his bowling pin-clad prince on one knee, ring in hand? He says yes, and the night ends pleasantly for them both. Happily ever after and all that. And thus concludes our little peek into the window of Shinji's life. So then, is it possible to live off of Evangelion merchandise? It sounds to me like, yeah, it kinda is. Especially considering that once the 4th Eva movie is out, y'all just know we're gonna be getting bombarded with even more Eva merch than before. As a matter of fact, speaking of which, I think now's a good time for me to bring up a few other official Evangelion products that I couldn't quite squeeze into this day of Shinji's life, but I still think they're worth mentioning anyways. If nothing else, just so you can really soak in just how vast the array of official Evangelion merchandise is out there. So with that, there's binoculars, a contact case, a fanny pack, a holster, humidifiers, a tent, an ashtray, eyelashes, golf equipment, these keep out wet floor looking signs, not totally sure what these are. Teacups, eye drops, inflatable ponies, an LED lantern, tweezers, bath salts, buckets, life-size statues, guitar cabinets, guitar picks, this bass amp, this peculiar looking fork, air fresheners, tarot cards, luggage, cameras, cleaner, and, you know, this is the one I find the funniest, check this out. This is official Ayanami Blue house paint from Turner Colorworks. In fact, let me say that one more time just so you can really sink that in. This is official Ayanami Blue house paint. You know, anyone can wear their love of Evangelion on their sleeve, but have you ever considered wearing it on your house's walls? But yeah, in conclusion, God, there's just a lot of official Evangelion merchandise out there in the world. I'm sure I missed plenty of it, so you're more than welcome to leave comments about anything I may have inadvertently left out. And on that note, God, I don't know, Ray's best girl.
Oh, this is nice. This is the end. Okay. Where exactly am I? Here's the song. Oh, good. There's some things that are still unresolved here, guys. How do I get home? What do I eat? Am I real? Oh, hell. Does the bus run through here?